All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're exploring a fascinating and pretty bold new theory about the fabric of reality itself. It suggests there's a single, elegant rule that could connect everything, from the Big Bang all the way to the future of artificial intelligence.
I mean, just think about it for a second. We look out at the universe and we see chaos, right? It's complex, it seems random, but what if, underneath all that noise, there's a fundamental principle, a cosmic, self-correcting mechanism that's always working to keep the whole system in check? That's the huge question at the heart of what we're talking about today.
So, to really get this idea, we have to start at the beginning. And its origin story, well, it's pretty unusual.
So here's what's so wild. This theory wasn't cooked up in some university physics lab. Nope, it was born from the intuition of an IT professional. Someone who thinks in terms of systems, logic, architecture, and feedback loops. It's a totally fresh way to look at the cosmos. And you know, it's a great reminder that huge breakthroughs can come from anywhere.
This brings us to the first big concept, Cosmological Self-Equilibrium, or CSE for short. The best way to picture it, think of a thermostat for the entire planet. When it gets too hot, a system kicks in to cool it down. Too cold, it warms back up. CSE is basically saying the entire universe does this, all the time, constantly self-regulating to stay in a perfect dynamic balance.
Now, to really understand CSE, we kind of have to learn its language. The theory uses a few key symbols to get its biggest ideas across, starting with this one.
First up, we have the asterisk. Now, this doesn't just mean all the stuff we can see. Think bigger. This symbol represents the total potential of the universe. Every single thing that is, was, or even could be. It's the ultimate placeholder for, well, the whole shebang.
And of course, for everything, you gotta have a nothing. The theory uses the empty set symbol to stand for absolute nothingness. This is the metaphysical void, the state before existence. And when you put these two together, everything and nothing, you get the fundamental dance of the cosmos.
So what drives this cosmic dance? It's a constant tug of war between two different kinds of forces. On one side, you've got your expansive forces. Let's call them E. Think dark energy, chaos, entropy, all the stuff that pushes things apart. On the other side are the integrative forces, or I. That's your gravity, your order, the things that pull matter together to form stars and galaxies. According to CSE, the universe is simply the act of constantly balancing these two.
Okay, so a self-balancing universe, driven by these opposing forces. But how does it all stay perfectly in check? Well, this is where it gets really mind-bending. It all comes down to a single, powerful rule.
1. That's it. This is the magic number. But what in the world does it mean?
This number stands for the Cosmological Equilibrium Constant, or CEC. And the idea here is just wow. It proposes that if you could somehow add up all the expansive and integrative forces across the whole universe and find their ratio, the answer would always be 1. Not close to 1, exactly 1. This is the perfect equilibrium hypothesis. It's saying existence isn't trying to find balance, existence is balance.
And this really shows you the power of that top-down intuitive approach. So many scientific revolutions didn't start with the complicated math. They started with a simple, powerful gut feeling about how things ought to work.
So a simple rule for the cosmos. That's a fascinating idea on its own. But the theory claims this principle of balance applies way beyond physics, stretching all the way into the future of artificial intelligence. As you can see here, the CSE framework is kind of like a meta-law. It's not trying to replace quantum mechanics or classical physics. It's suggesting a theme that connects them. You see this balancing act everywhere, from the probabilities of the quantum world to the cause and effect of the world we see. It even echoes ambitious ideas like geometric unity, which are also looking for that deeper, simpler structure under it all.
But maybe its most urgent application isn't out there in deep space, but right here on Earth. I mean, we're building incredibly powerful AI, and the number one question is, how do we make sure it stays safe and beneficial? This theory suggests that the key might just be to build it on the universe's own core principle, equilibrium.
So, how would you actually do that?
Well, the theory lays out some ground rules. An AI built on these ideas would need to constantly balance exploring new things with using what it already knows. And this is the real kicker. It would have to operate with what's called information equilibrium. That's basically a built-in safety measure to make sure its own reasoning stays stable and coherent, even as it becomes super intelligent.
Of course, a theory is just an idea until it gets out into the world. The plan here is to get it down in a formal paper, then share it through articles and social media to really get the conversation going with thinkers and tech leaders.
And this brings us all the way back to the ultimate message, the real philosophical heart of this entire idea.
This is really the manifesto right here. The theory argues that balance isn't a goal that a system tries to reach. Balance is what the system is. A star isn't trying to balance gravity and fusion. That very balance is the star. Existence is just this continuous, dynamic process of self-correction.
This whole perspective gives us a new set of principles for looking at any complex system, which you can see right here. The core ideas are that survival depends on the ability to self-correct, persistence comes from being flexible, and real integrity comes from a holistic view. These are takeaways we can apply to almost anything. So, we'll end with a question for you. If this one simple rule, this constant push and pull towards equilibrium, really is the engine of the cosmos, what does that mean for us? What part of our world, our technology, our society, even our own lives, is dangerously out of balance? And what can we do to help it self-correct? Thanks for joining us.